Tang missing and captured, still somewhere inside enemy darkness. In the next strategic meeting, Yan Shaozjie delivered Tianhun's request. Shrek and Tang Sect must help with aerial reconnaissance immediately. Hey friends, welcome back to 3D Cartoon Review, where every soul ring glows like a warning, and every shadow in the sky may be watching you back. Today, the wind over Tianling City tastes like smoke and steel, and one mistake can turn a hero into ash. Under Song Lao's guidance, the Shrek group finally pierced the night clouds and reached Tianling's airspace, flying low enough to avoid panicked defenses. To prevent any fatal misunderstanding, Song Lao ordered everyone to descend and release Shrek's unique identification signal, bright and undeniable in the darkness. Below, Princess Wei Na personally led a squad of soul masters to welcome them, her posture composed, yet her eyes carrying exhaustion that war never forgives. She spoke quickly and politely, saying the front line looked stable for now, but their reconnaissance had been strangled by Sun Moon's advanced soul tool systems. The meeting ended with heavy silence, because stable on a battlefield only means the next disaster hasn't chosen its moment yet. Not long after, Wei Na requested a private meeting with Huo Yuhao, arriving as if she was chasing her final chance to breathe. The moment she entered, Yuhao's aura released its familiar chill, and Wei Na noticed instantly, because sharp minds feel danger before words explain it. What happened next shattered all dignity. This noble princess suddenly dropped to her knees, tears spilling, begging Yuhao to save Tianhun Empire. Yuhao jolted forward, horrified, lifting her up immediately, because a kneel is heavier than any title, and it can crush the heart that receives it. Wei Na's tears wouldn't stop, and her voice trembled as she confessed the empire was collapsing under Sun Moon's soul guidance artillery and cruel technology. She admitted she once felt proud, believing Tianhun's strength, especially with Bentizong standing behind them, could rival or even surpass Yinglu Empire. But those illusions were smashed to powder, because their proud soul masters looked helpless when new weapons erased defenses in minutes. Wei Na described watching lines crumble, watching squads vanish, watching the sky itself turn hostile, as soul tools rained death like mechanical judgment. Her regret was raw, because she had understood the importance of soul tools early, yet her nation awakened too late to stop the bleeding. She even admitted that without Tang Sect's weapons, many crafted by Yuhao Tianhun's situation would be far worse than the nightmare already unfolding. She had also heard Yuhao once helped Xinglu reclaim the Mingdu region, indirectly easing Tianhun's pressure, and that reputation became her hope. To win him, Wei Na offered nobility, promising a duke's title, hinting she would satisfy any reasonable request if he saved their fate. Yuhao listened quietly, calm but alert, because this princess looked fragile on the surface, yet her mind was sharp. He refused the title without arrogance, saying he didn't chase power, and he only hoped Tianhun would continue supporting Shrek Academy. Yuhao asked her to speak plainly, and Wei Na admitted she wanted a long-term bond, hoping he would stand with Tianhun in future national decisions. Then desperation twisted into something reckless, and she lowered her voice, implying she could offer even her body, if that would secure his commitment. Yuhao declined with careful gentleness, explaining consequences and distance, refusing without humiliating her, because wounded pride can become venom. Before leaving, Wei Na leaned closer and tossed a half-joking question that hit like a blade, making Yuhao flush violently in the quiet room. Her eyes held a strange mix of grief and mischief as she asked whether his manly ability had problems, then she laughed softly and left. Unfortunately, Bai in the neighboring room heard every word. In the moment the door closed, his grin sharpened like a teasing dagger. He pounced on Yuhao with relentless jokes until Yuhao looked ready to freeze the corridor solid, yet laughter died quickly in a war zone. When seriousness returned, Bai's worry stayed fixed on one name, Tang missing and captured, still somewhere inside enemy darkness. In the next strategic meeting, Yan Shaozjie delivered Tianhun's request. Shrek and Tang Sect must help with aerial reconnaissance immediately. Song Lao asked for opinions, and Bei insisted again that finding Tang should be prioritized, even if reconnaissance could decide the next casualty list. The room tightened, because both demands were true, and choosing one meant delaying the other, while real people died under real weapons. Then Song Lao made a decisive move, handing full operational command to Huo Yuhao, including authority to command even her and Yan Xiaojie. It wasn't kindness, it was a furnace, a trial by fire meant to forge Yuhao into a leader while the sky above Tianhun burned. Yuhao accepted despite reluctance. Because refusing wouldn't remove the burden, it would only shift it onto shoulders already cracked by responsibility. He decided that night would begin the first reconnaissance, gathering enemy camp layout and learning the strength of Sun Moon's Soul Engineer legions. Just as he contacted Tianhun's army liaison to prepare for departure, Wei Na appeared again, surprising everyone with her insistence to go along. Yuhao objected instantly, saying it was too dangerous. But Wei Na's face darkened, grief resurfacing with a sincerity that couldn't be faked. She confessed her fiancé, Long Aotian of Bentizong, had died in Sun Moon's Soul Tool bombardment, and she survived only for her nation. Now she wanted to do something for Tianhun, even if it meant risking death during reconnaissance, because living helplessly felt worse than dying. Wei Na explained she possessed twin martial souls, an auxiliary Shulian, and a powerful mental spirit type focused on the brain domain. Her abilities overlapped with Yuhao's, meaning she could support him, share perception, and withstand strain better than ordinary companions. Tears fell again, and Yuhao's heart softened, because her grief unexpectedly reminded him of old pain, of someone he could never protect enough. In the end, he nodded, agreeing to bring her, even though a leader sometimes regrets mercy before the night ends. They left the city and climbed into the sky, wind cutting their cheeks, clouds like torn cloth, and distant fires painting the horizon. Along the way, Wei Na spoke of Bentizong's losses. Many titled Douluo dead or crippled, disciples lost beyond 1/3. The numbers were cold, but their meaning was hotter than flame, and Yuhao's mood sank under the realization of technology's crushing advantage. Under Yuhao's guidance, they flew higher and higher until nearly 4,000 meters, where the air thinned and every breath felt expensive. When they reached the space above Sun Moon's main camp, Yuhao activated Mofang and Jingshen Gongming, linking senses so Wei Na could see. Below them sprawled a massive camp, tight and methodical, using terrain fully, layered with barriers that looked like a fortress made of calculations. What froze Yuhao's heart was the presence of 5 massive soul tool emplacements, meaning at least 5 elite soul engineer legions guarded this core. He decided they had enough and prepared to retreat, but then his Mingyun Tugu screamed a warning through his bones like a death bell. Yuhao glanced down and saw a vague red glow rising from one emplacement, ominous as a sleeping eye beginning to open. His voice snapped out, "Not good." And he didn't waste a heartbeat explaining, because explanation is slower than survival. He grabbed the flying soul tool behind Wei Na and hurled her away like a cannon shot toward safety, sacrificing comfort for distance. At the same time, he forced himself higher with desperate speed, trying to widen the gap before the enemy's strike fully locked on. A terrifying crimson beam over 100 meters wide split the night like a sky-cleaving sword, crossing 4,000 meters in a blink. It swallowed Yuhao's position completely, heat and annihilation packed inside that light, making the soul itself tremble at its approach. Wei Na, flung far away, watched him vanish in red brilliance, mind going blank, unable to scream, unable even to breathe properly. In that frozen moment, she truly believed Yuhao was dead, because nothing human should survive that kind of concentrated destruction. Then Yuhao's voice echoed inside her consciousness, urgent and steady, ordering her to flee immediately, proof he still lived within that nightmare. A heartbeat later he reappeared, seized her and fled at maximum speed toward Tianling City, refusing to let fear slow his hands. The beam did not fire again, yet Yuhao's face was deathly pale when they landed, his clothes partly vaporized by the strike. Yuhao understood it was a combined killing move from a Soul Engineer Legion, and even weakened by distance, it nearly broke him. The key salvation was the Shenshou Nilin, the beast god's reverse scale shielding him at the decisive instant from death or crippling injury. Wei Na's hands shook as she stared at him, because witnessing that sacrifice forged trust faster than any oath could accomplish. To prevent friendly fire in future missions, she gave Yuhao Tianhun's highest-grade signal device, ensuring their own defenses wouldn't mistake him again. By morning, Yuhao reported everything to Song Lao and Yan Xiaojie, and the room's silence thickened under the weight of technological disparity. Song Lao decided immediately that tonight she would accompany Yuhao personally, using her strength to guarantee his survival while testing enemy responses. When night deepened again, Yuhao returned above Sun Moon's camp, hovering around 4,500 meters, deliberately visible like bait. Far above, at 6,000 meters, Song Lao hid within the cloud ceiling, beyond the effective scan range of enemy reconnaissance soul tools. Minutes passed, quiet enough to hear your own heartbeat, and Yuhao waited, posture calm, mind sharp, as if counting invisible steps. Without warning, a mass of thick black mist dropped from above, swallowing his camouflage and forcing his silhouette into open sky. A hoarse voice mocked him for daring to spy, sneering that he was only a soul sage and should kneel before true power. Two figures appeared 50 meters away, each encircled by 9 soul rings, their aura dark and twisted, evil title Douluo hunting like wolves. One introduced himself as Jiamian Douluo, whose martial soul manifested as a ghastly pale mask crawling with resentful spirits. The other remained colder, yet behind him rose a huge green one-eyed centipede phantom, poisonous and brutal, Tianwu Douluo Nangong Wan. Yuhao pretended to tremble and plead, acting frightened on purpose, while Jiamian threatened to devour his soul if he resisted. Yuhao asked their titles, and Jiamian announced them smugly, enjoying the taste of dominance, while Nangong Wan watched in silent hatred. When Nangong Wan lifted his cloak, Yuhao recognized him from the elite tournaments, and Nangong Wan recognized Yuhao even faster. Because Yuhao once used the identity Tang Wu, stole prizes, vanished, and left Nangong Wan punished and humiliated before countless eyes, old shame ignited like poison in Nangong Wan's spine, and he lunged forward, determined to capture Yuhao alive and repay blood for disgrace. Yuhao smiled faintly and told him to keep calling him Tang Wu, as if names were only masks in a world built on masks. Then Yuhao murmured calmly that soon the one who must run wouldn't be him, and the night seemed to pause, listening. A pale blue shadow fell from the highest sky like an executioner's wing. Song Lao arrived beside Yuhao in an instant. Only now did the enemies understand the truth. Yuhao was bait at 4,500, and Song Lao waited above 6,000. Shock struck them late, because Song Lao's aura was terrifying, 97 rank, so overwhelming that their senses had failed to detect her approach. Jiamian attacked first, summoning a gigantic screaming mask phantom with soul-sucking pull, binding cold, and mental filth that clawed at sanity. Nangong Wan transformed into a centipede over 50 meters long, spraying green venom mist that pierced ordinary defenses and warped the air. Yuhao retreated behind Song Lao and activated Quanti Saru, weakening the mask phantom until its terrifying solidity blurred into instability. In that opened moment, Yuhao's forehead flared as the Mingyun Jian opened, and a fate-laced soul shock fired straight at Jiamian. Jiamian's spirit convulsed violently, body stiffening, defenses vanishing for a fatal instant as if his soul had been nailed in place. Song Lao seized that opening, transforming into the Qingying Shenying, an azure eagle shadow slicing through venom mist toward the immobilized Jiamian. But her charge left Yuhao exposed, and Nangong Wan's centipede body smashed downward like a siege pillar, aiming to crush Yuhao instantly. Facing certain death, Yuhao triggered a copied skill from Xuanwu Zihuan, twisting positions like chess pieces swapped by an invisible hand. The battered Jiamian, already being torn apart by Song Lao, was displaced directly into the path of Nangong Wan's unstoppable killing strike. Nangong Wan couldn't retract in time, and his own attack slaughtered his teammate in horrific friendly fire, ending Jiamian in an instant. Even Song Lao froze briefly, shocked by the elegance of Yuhao's calculation, turning enemy momentum into execution with ruthless precision. Nangong Wan's courage cracked, and he chose flight, vomiting poison mist to cover retreat, burning power as if burning his future. Yuhao moved faster, unleashing his ultimate ice domain to lock Nangongwan's position, freezing concealment into weakness under absolute cold. Then another Linghun Chongji slammed into Nangongwan's mind, shattering focus, tearing apart the centipede true body's stability. The giant form collapsed. Nangongwan reverted to human shape, face twisted with pain as the sky became suddenly too wide to escape. Song Lao pounced, talons stabbing into his shoulders, sealing meridians and soul power with terrifying accuracy, capturing him alive. The aerial battle lasted less than a minute. One evil titled Douluo dead, one captured, and every heartbeat belonged to Yuhao's planning. Back at their base, Yan Shaojie stared at the unconscious prisoner, a flicker of old memory stinging, because some enemies never truly disappear. Song Lao confirmed Nangongwan's identity. Tianwu Douluo, 93 rank, second elder of Shengling Jiao, an intelligence prize beyond measure. That night, inside a quiet chamber, Song Lao, Yan Shaoze, Beibei, and Yuhao surrounded Nangongwan, bound like a beast awaiting judgment. Yan Shaozak recognized him as an old foe from youth, and his gaze hardened, because time doesn't heal hatred when war keeps feeding it. Yan Shaoze invoked Guangming Fenghuang, forming a swirling vortex that forcibly drew soul power from Nangongwan's Hun He, the core of life. For a titled Douluo, the soul core is existence itself, and having it drained feels worse than death, like life peeled away slowly. Nangongwan screamed, begged, promised everything, because pain dissolves loyalty into nothing when the soul itself is being pulled apart. From his mouth, they learned Shengling Jiao's terrifying structure, names stacked like nightmares with each revelation. At the top stood Sishen Douluo, an extreme Douluo-level supreme leader whose presence alone could turn battlefields into graveyards. Below him were Zhang Liwu, the cult leader Feng Ling, the deputy, and 12 chief enforcers led by Long Xiaoyu. Then came the name that made Bai Bai's blood go cold. Tang Ya was alive, but she had become Lan Yin Sheng Nu. Nangongwan revealed her location. A golden tent beside the command tent of the Huanglong Juntuan, the tightest guarded region. Worse still, he confessed that the third and fourth elders, those linked to Wang Kuer's death, were also present there, watching like vultures. Silence filled the chamber, because rescuing Tang Ya wasn't just a mission now, it was a plunge into the enemy's throat. Bai Bai's fists tightened until knuckles whitened, and Yuhao's eyes sharpened, because at last they had a target, even if it was made of blades. Outside, the war continued breathing, metal and smoke, while inside, plans began forming like frost crystals, quiet, precise, and dangerous. So tell me, if you were Yuhao, would you strike that golden tent immediately with one lightning raid or build a trap around it first? And if you were Bai Bai, could you stay patient for strategy, or would love force you to gamble everything tonight? Thanks for watching 3D Cartoon Review. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the next step decides whether Tang Ya returns or sinks deeper.